Hi everyone, Jean-Pierre from teamtennis.fr. In this video I'm going to make a review of this racket. This is the Dunlop Srixon SX 300. First I let you watch some parts of a training session I did with the racket and then we talk about it. Si nous faisions un peu de revers chopé, si nous chopâmes, je chopais, tu chopais, il chopait, nous chopûmes. Je vais essayer de faire un maximum de chop. Je reprends mon calme là, parce que là ça va choper. On va faire un maximum de chop sans faire de faute. Ok, d'accord? The World Guinness Book of the Record of the World, le plus de chop possible. Allez! Bon, en chop, la régularité est présente, hein. Je crois que c'est bon. On va faire du revers lifté. Ah, c'est malin ça. Bon, c'est pas mal. Allez, faire un petit peu de couloir. C'est parti. Tu peux mettre la balle dans le terrain, s'il te plaît. C'est pénible de jouer avec des mecs qui font des fautes. Oh là là, il n'y a pas moyen de jouer en fait. Je vais remédier à ça. S'il te plaît, merci. On peut jouer un peu. Voilà, bon engagement. Okay, we are back to talk about this racket, Dunlop Srixon SX 300 that Tennis Warehouse Europe sent me for a demo. By the way, for your tennis equipment, I advise you to go at Tennis Warehouse Europe. I have a partnership with this website, and if you buy at Tennis Warehouse Europe, it's very nice from you if you use my affiliate link to go at Tennis Warehouse Europe. Doing so, you will help me continue the videos I'm doing on YouTube. You can find my affiliate link in the description under the video, and the link also appears directly on the video. Thank you. Okay guys, let's go. Let's talk about this racket. In order to not waste too much time concerning the specifications of the racket, they are displayed here on this side of the video, and anyway I'm going to talk to you about them during the video. Concerning the strings on this racket, I don't know what string it is. I know it's a polyester, it's a monofilament, and the tension is around 23-24 kilograms. I'm going to talk to you now about the technologies you can find on this racket, and first of all there is a technology which is called Sonic Core Infinergy. In fact, it's the material which is used in the frame of the racket, especially at 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock. It's a kind of rubber, light, elastic. It absorbs the vibrations very well, and it's going to restitute at the same time the energy very well. So it's interesting for tennis racket, but it's not only used in tennis industry, it's used also in shoes industry. For instance, for Adidas shoes, Adidas Energy Boost. It's used for safety shoes, it's used for bicycle saddles, it's used for treadmills, it's used for running tracks. Well, it's used in many other areas, but of course it's interesting for tennis rackets. Okay, we are going to talk about a string bed, the string pattern. For these 10 grommets in the middle of the frame, for these 10 strings, 10 vertical strings, these grommets have a special shape. It's not something new. I've already seen some technologies concerning the grommets for head rackets, babolat rackets for example. So these grommets have a shape that allows the strings to move freely. It's going to give a better access to topspin to give some power. What's new with this racket is that all these grommets don't have exactly the same shape. They are designed to bring at the same time a good access to topspin even if you off-center the ball, and at the same time they are designed to provide you a good amount of control. Okay, the goal with this racket is to give you access to topspin and at the same time good control even if you off-center the ball. Something else concerning the string pattern. It's dense in the middle of the frame. Okay, the space between the strings is a bit narrowed. Okay, so it's going to provide some control, and at the bottom and the top of the frame there is more space between the strings. It's going to give you some comfort. If you off-center the ball, you still have comfort, power and good access to topspin. So it's interesting to have this different space between the strings in the middle and at the bottom and the top of the frame. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about my feelings on the court, which is very important, and really I advise you to try the rackets before you buy them, because giving a look at the specifications is not enough to know if the racket is going to fit your game, to fit your feelings. So try the rackets if you can. First of all, we are going to talk about the power of the racket. The racket gives an intermediate level of power. You won't have a big easy power with this racket, and at the same time it's not very difficult to play with this racket. It's not a very control-oriented racket. Intermediate level of power. For me it was okay. I had a good mix between power, control for my ground stroke, and just for my serve I lacked some power, but my serve is really a weak shot in my game, especially now because I have a shoulder injury, so I don't even try to make some big serves. But overall I had a good mix between power and control with this racket. To help you have a better idea of the power of this racket, I'm going to make some comparisons with some rackets maybe you already know. First of all, some rackets that are going to be more powerful than this one. Ed MXJ, Babolat Pure Drive, Technifib T-Flash, Ed Extreme MP, Ed Instinct MP, Wilson Clash 100, a bit more powerful. Babolat Pure Aero, it depends. For the latest version, 2019, it's really close to this one. Concerning the power and even concerning the shape of the racket, the beam weights, it's the same, the shape of the racket here, it's the same. Here in the throat of the racket it's flat, like the Babolat Pure Aero, the same shape here, except that for this Dunlop there is a hole here. But really it makes me think about the Babolat Pure Aero for the shape and for the power. For the Babolat Pure Aero before 2019, the racket is more powerful. Okay, so this racket is very close to the Yonex V-Core 100, to the Head Speed MP. Babolat Pure Strike 100, maybe a bit less powerful. Now we are going to talk about less powerful racket. Head Gravity MP, less powerful. Prince Tour 100P, Yonex V-Core Pro 100 and Head Speed Pro are going to be less powerful. Now, concerning the maneuverability of the racket, it was good for me. The balance is at 32 centimeters unstrung, which is a neutral balance, not much weight at the tip of the racket, but just enough to have some power and to have some stability. So good maneuverability for my ground strokes and at the net. Also, I found the comfort very good with this racket. I didn't feel much vibrations. Even when I off-centered the ball, I didn't lose too much power. I didn't receive a big shock in my arm. So there is a good forgiveness and there is a good comfort. It's interesting to know that with this racket there is a good absorption of the vibration, but at the same time you don't have a muted feelings like for instance with the Wilson Countervail. So very good comfort, and at the same time you have a classical feelings with this racket. So now I'm going to summarize for this Dunlop Srixon SX 300. First of all, for me it's important to notice that concerning the specifications of this racket, all the values are average, okay? You don't have extreme specifications. With this racket it's interesting because somehow it's a way to limit the risk when you are choosing a new tennis racket. The balance is neutral, the head size, the string pattern, the beam width, it's average. The stiffness is average, 65, not too stiff, not too flexible, very good maneuverability, very good comfort with classical feelings, very good access to topspin, and at the same time you don't lose too much control. So this racket is going to be interesting for players with a modern game, aggressive game with topspin, players who put some power in their shots, but at the same time players who are expecting some little power coming from the racket. I think this racket can be interesting also for counter punchers with a good level. You don't have to use topspin with this racket, you can play with a flat game, but it's okay if you don't put too much power in your shot. If you have a flat game and you really hit the ball hard, you might lack some control with this racket. Okay, now to conclude this video, there is also a Dunlop SX 300 Tour with a weight of 310 grams unstrung, balance 31 centimeters with the same feeling, so interesting for players looking for a heavier tennis racket. There is a Dunlop SX 300 LS, 285 grams unstrung, interesting for good beginners, players looking for a lighter tennis racket. There is a Dunlop SX 300 Light, 270 grams unstrung, interesting also for beginners looking for a light tennis racket, interesting for women with an intermediate level, interesting also for junior players maybe looking for their first adult tennis racket. And there is a Dunlop SX 600 oversize, 270 grams unstrung, interesting really to find some easy power, forgiveness and really easy access to topspin. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to ask me any question and see you very soon in another video. Take care. Bye.